Alright, this is Anthony with Black Horse Cherry Orchard. This is my aquaponics system. This is just a bead board. You can see there's water underneath here. The whole thing's enclosed. A couple of grow lights. And this is I don't know if you can see that, the red-blue panels, which are great for lettuce. This is a very simple one. It's just a up on some cement blocks, some 2x. It's a chemical tote. Got a couple windows in here. Had to keep it covered with the tilapia because they need heat to produce. This was my this intention was for this to be my breeder pen, but they need more space than this. This just isn't big enough for a breeder pen, or is it full enough for of plant life to get them to propagate correctly. I did have 5 tilapia in here. Did produce 1 fry. There was several more, but it's funny, you can spotlight them and their eyes glow. Here is the second aquaponics system. This one I had insulated, and this was my grow out system. And let's see, some leftover food containers. Let's see here. Okay, and this system was a self-cleaning system, and this is just a stack pipe. There's some stuff there, and what it does is it fills up with water. You can see the water level. And then it draws from the bottom of the pipe down here through the cuts. Draws the material up and down the tube. That forces the floor here to get sucked up and taken down into that pipe. Works fantastic. That pipe then goes into a barrel. This barrel is the sediment barrel. Then overflows into another barrel, which has the ribbon in it. I don't know if you can see the ribbon, but I just hung it off of a bag. Put a cement block in there with a sump pump on it. Or not a sump pump, I'm sorry, with a pond pump. Pump goes up into this grow bed, which has the LEDs, through the grow bed, down the tube, and back into the chemical tote. I tried lava rock, I've tried everything. I've left a few lava rock in here to hold bacteria better, but just water and the styrofoam with the cutouts in it worked absolutely fantastic. The grow lights work great. There's a couple of issues with them, but they there's some tubes there. The growing medium like hydroton and leca, expanded clay, that's way too expensive. But you see here, you take these pieces and you insert them into the holes where they absorb water, fill up with water, and then inside of each hole you put this one lettuce seed. And I'll tell you, with tilapia, there's a trick here. There's a lot of tank heaters. I don't know if you can see those or not. Tilapia are quite expensive to raise when you start having to heat the water. Then you have to cool the water in order for the vegetation to grow properly. So I found that this system is just not feasible in the climate that we live in. However, I am interested in trying striped bass, and it just was really hard to find them. I heard they're a little more difficult. I had bluegill, and the bluegill they weighed a little over 1.25 pounds, but it took 2 years. For the tilapia, it was much faster. We went from the size of my thumb to the size of my hand in 9 months. But they are a dirty fish, and they're very aggressive. I put them in with the bluegill, and they killed the bluegill. I had quite an extensive operation here. I had a lot of breeder tanks set up along the top because I bought out all these tanks from the pet store. I think I gave them 10 bucks a tank or something. I've been slowly selling them off. But I have an opportunity to help a fella set up one of these systems, or both of them. I had to waterproof my basement, and it's not something you want to do in the house. There isn't really a smell. There's just a high humidity. You got to run a dehumidifier constantly. Oh, mushroom growing kit. That one's not doing very good. He's dried out. A little neglect on my part. That's what happens when you try to save the world. You leave these little projects behind and move on. But hopefully I can get this project to somebody else. They can use it and learn from my mistakes. And this self-cleaning tank is the bomb. One more thing here is I've put some valves on there so that you can shut them off and you can drain the system and just add cleaner water. But you just need larger grow beds. You need a cooler water fish for the climate we're in here in Illinois, middle Illinois basically. And let's see, you don't want to, you just need you can't afford to do it on city water. We don't want to be putting, you don't want to put chemicals in the water, chloramide and chlorine and you don't want to be using all these chemicals in the fish. If we just narrow it down, I mean, this is 250 gallons, 55 and 55, and you know, another 100 or 50 to 75 to 100. But the thing is be careful. You know, you don't need to be a giant investment here. I mean, this doesn't look like much, but I got nearly $3,000 invested in this to this level, and I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's just, it can be done much cheaper, and it's not the totes that cost the money. It was the fish. It was trying to get around all the red tape to give it a try. Heaters are incredibly expensive. When all these lights are running, these LED lights I got off the internet, these are red and blue. I mean, and I can plug one in for you, but I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, the chances are that these things just don't hold up. And you can see one over there. Well, it was trying to. It's like the starters are out of them or something, you know. And they're all dead. I mean, they're 30 bucks a pop off the internet, and they're supposed to last years. And I don't know what's going on there, but I'll probably have to tear into them and see if I can fix it. I mean, I'm not a lighting expert, but when this was running with just bluegill in it, just a handful of bluegill I bought from Farm King, or your local farm and fleet store, it worked great. I used the short day lettuce, the butterhead, Fidel, and there's a long day lettuce in there, and everything was fantastic. I added the tilapia to the system, and I nearly destroyed it. And actually, you know, it's not, like I said, it's not climate responsible to grow tilapia here. You need to piggyback tilapia production onto a hog barn or somewhere where that ammonia or dirty fish water can be utilized better. It's just, for a hobbyist, you need to stay with a striped bass or something. But as far as having fresh lettuce, I mean, one of the hardest things to have is fresh lettuce. These, even when you go to the store, it's either half rotten or raw. But I'm going to redo these to hold fish over the winter for my outdoor ponds and my orchards if I don't give them both away. And but there's another adaptation that we should talk about is that fish don't need a lot of food, but it is another expense. And when you're trying to raise small amounts of tilapia, they hammer you for $1 a fry. Well, that's all the profit that's in a fish, is probably $1 a piece. So unless you're going to raise fry, you're not going to make any money as a hobbyist. The key is to raise a species that don't require you a permit, that grows quick, and I'm not sure what that species would be at this time. It's like I said, even the hybrid bluegill took, 2 years to reach 1 pound. You need to concentrate on keeping your costs down, and I've been able to complete a project addition that will complement this well, and that complementary system will be using flies, and by installing a catch deal, I can put a dead animal in there, and the flies, larvae or maggots, as you would say, will form. The fly will fly across, get forced into the water where the fish then can eat it. Therefore, you're feeding the fish for free. And that's an adaptation that needs to be taken care of, but it's not something I want to do in my house. And as you can see, it's a high moisture issue anyway, but we had to try to figure out to do something in this, these dives of a basement that are all over town. So I was trying to find a way for people to use these dead spaces, but this isn't it. Well, we're just putting more moisture in the environment, and even mushroom cultivation in these areas doesn't work out. So basically the basement like this should be filled in. I mean, if it's not drain tiled to the outside, which is not feasible for the year and the quality of the house, it'd be better just to open one of the windows up and fill the thing with river rock, and then heat and cool the rock and create, a solar system out of it. But there's my tilapia system. Like I said, fish aren't a very clean animal. We spend a lot of time cleaning up after them, and when you try to force the numbers that they're suggesting, one fish per gallon of water, and these kind of numbers are unsustainable for long periods of time, and then you're needing antibiotics. If you just back off the numbers game, and you got much better of an area. So I have many designs in my head for many other proposals, but like I said, I kind of put it on the back burner. I've expanded operations into working in the wetlands and planning urban orchards to fund little excursions like that, because, well, they don't fund themselves. But Anthony with Black Horse Cherry Orchard, that's my aquaponics system. I wouldn't call it a failure, I would call it a success. And the success is knowing that the whole thing is kind of a scam. So unless you're somewhere where you can get free tilapia fry, and you have a warm climate, and you have plenty of area to cool the water, I say stick with a cooler water fish. Stick with a plant like lettuce that grows in low light, and call it good. Another thing is tilapia have to be covered in a covered tank or in a covered building. And we don't have those issues with local fish. So, all right, well, that's my messy house. I gotta get out of here.